Hi, this is Simon Leung from simonleung.com. Welcome back to our show. And as we always like to say, life is full of surprises, isn't it? And that's because today I actually originally had no plans of going live. I was already on my way out. And if you check out my YouTube channel over here, you would have noticed that I actually just uploaded a brand new video. And it's all about how you should be joining me on these live streams. And so obviously when I uploaded that, I was thinking maybe I wouldn't go on today. I didn't go on yesterday. Maybe I wouldn't go on tomorrow either, just because we wanted some additional time for the organic results to come in and get more people interested in these live streams before we actually go. But of course, always full of surprises. As I was about to go out, I got a message from a good friend of mine. And if you don't know who this gentleman is, you really ought to. And one of the best ways that you will get to know him is actually if you go here and check out simonleon.com/groovathon. Just a few short weeks ago, we did a 14-day live stream marathon. I hosted Groove at Night, and this gentleman actually joined us for a variety of different sessions. He came on not just once, not just twice, not just three times, but actually more, in conjunction with showing up and sharing with other fellow experts as well. He talked about SEO, he talked about marketing, he talked about network marketing, multi-level marketing, and multiple tier affiliate marketing, all at the same time across multiple sessions. And if you had been there, you would know just the kind of applause, the kind of welcome this gentleman got. And so, of course, it goes without saying that after the 14-day Groovathon was over, I was already talking to him and I said, hey, now that the Groovathon is over, I don't want this to end for all of us. I think that there's a lot of really, really cool things that we can be doing. I think that with your expertise and with everything that we can definitely combine our resources and see how we can deliver even more value to other people as well. And so I'm very excited that now today, after so many weeks that we've been talking about this, he was on holiday, he went to Vegas, and he was doing a lot of really different things, was busy with his life, but now he's like, hey, let's go ahead and do this. So if you're ready for something really, really exciting and something really different, in lieu of taking my exercise and going out and doing what I was going to do on a normal day to enjoy my, Friday afternoon. Oh, today is Friday the 13th. I just noticed that. But okay, happy Friday the 13th to all of you. But here's the thing, right? Your luck, if you believe in it, or how you create your livelihood, or whether or not you get fortunate in your day-to-day life, I believe is 1000% within your control. It all depends on how you look at things. It all depends on how you decide to take action. And it definitely depends on what you choose to do next. And so for all of us who are here right now and watching us, a huge congratulations. Let us know in the comments where you are from, what time it is, where you're watching, because it helps us to understand how many of you are watching in which various time zones. But the gentleman that I want to introduce to you right now is somebody who is actually in the other parts of the world from me. You can't really see right now, but it is about 4 p.m. in the afternoon. It's a bright and sunny day right here in Malaysia, which means that it's actually around midnight where this guy is. He is in the LA area in California. And so it's very rare that I would have the opportunity to actually talk to him around this time, especially to get him on the air with us at this hour as well. But he is here. And of course, very excited to have him on. If you don't know too much about him, he is an expert in search engine marketing, in search engine optimization, in agency marketing. He has created his own client base and one of the most successful marketers that I've known for a very, very long time. But not only is he just a marketer in the internet space, he is also very, very good when it comes to building teams, when it comes to knowing what it's like to have a community of people working with you, learning from you to become a great leader. So not only does this make him a good network marketer, but he knows that as part of any community, this is the surefire way of true success. And that is why we have him on here today to talk about something called social capital. Have you heard of social capital? Let us know in the comments because we want to hear from you. But without any further ado, I want to bring up my good friend who is all the way in the US. It's going to be a little bit late for him right now. I believe his wife is probably sleeping as well in the other room. So he's not going to be energetic. He's not going to talk very loud, but everything that he does say will absolutely be gold. I have seen this from him time and time and time again, not only a few weeks ago on the live stream at the Groovathon, but also the multiple times that we have spoken across the world. We have spoken to kids, we've spoken to internet marketers, and we've even been on TV together, simultaneously broadcasting in places like Singapore, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, just like how we're broadcasting right now. So as they say, everything always comes around full circle. This gentleman, originally from Taiwan, but now he is in the US, kind of like me, ABC, but not really, not born in America, but almost in the definition or the Urban Dictionary definition. We're definitely very influenced by the Western world, and we don't talk necessarily like a lot of the other people who live in this area. So we are a little bit different here. We're a little bit different over there. We're just very unique in everything that we do. So I see that we already have some cool people who are saying hi to us. I will definitely get to you in just a moment, but without any further ado, I want you, if you're here, to please help me to give a warm welcome, a huge virtual applause to my good friend, somebody that you should absolutely get to know as well. Let's welcome to the live stream, Mr. Jerry Chen. How are you doing,
Wow.
sir? Thank you for staying up with us.
I'm doing awesome. And Simon and I are pretending like we didn't rehearse ahead of time.
We don't rehearse actually. We just wing it every time that we do something. We just wing it. But of course, we as much as we can try to plan out at least the fundamentals of what we want to talk about. Because if we're doing these live streams, we want a title, we want a little description on everything. And so far, all I heard from you was social capital, and something that thankfully you sent me a link to an article, because actually I'm not somebody who is too familiar with the topic of social capital. I know you are, because just from the first few lines that I've seen, the term social capital refers to positive product of human interaction, anything that has to do with useful information, innovative ideas, future opportunities, and as well as community, personal relationships, networks. These are all things that I know, are absolutely the master at. So obviously, there is nobody better to be speaking on this topic other than you. And so we are very, very excited to have you here today with us, Mr. Jerry. Now, before we give you a little bit of time to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and everything, yes, it's very impromptu. We didn't really rehearse much, but yeah, we said, hey, let's do something. Let's kind of talk about this. And we spent a total of maybe 5 minutes just so let's give each other a little bit time to digest and absorb. In the meantime, we can also take a look at some of the cool people who have been saying hi to us. Maybe we'll have some interesting comments, interesting things. You never know, because we're live, right? So we can get people who love us, we can get people who hate us, we can get people who know us, people who don't know us. It's all a surprise. Like we said, right? Life is full of surprises, and especially so are these live streams. So I'm excited to be doing more of these live streams with you. But in the meantime, as we can see, we have people join us from YouTube. This is Marites SG channel saying hello, hosts. Hello, viewer watching here. Very cool. Let me know where you're from, unless SG stands for Singapore. I am not sure, but if you're in this side of the world, a huge welcome to you. Robin is our good friend, actually, my good friend that I have known for over 10 years. And actually, I don't know if I told you previously, Jerry, that I'm in some kind of Facebook jail or whatever it is that they call it. A lot of the posts that I post, they do not get sent out as
Right
much
now?
anymore, and so people don't see them. I don't really see too many of the other people's posts as well. And Robin
Mm.
actually has been my Facebook friend as well for the past decade and a half, it feels like. But all this time, I didn't see any of his posts. I guess he didn't see any of mine. We haven't interacted until we started
Oh,
doing
wow.
these live streams. And I think either the last time or the time before that, we finally reconnected. And so that's really the power of live streams and doing all these cool stuff. You get to really reconnect with people that you've lost touch with over time. And he's in England right now,
Mm.
saying it's 8:08 a.m. So about 12 hours or 8 hours ahead of you, right? We have Anthony from Perth, Western Australia, which is the exact same time zone, I think, as me. It's about 4:15 p.m. my time. So very welcome to you, Mr. Anthony. Thank you for joining us. Drama Kitty, I hope you're not as dramatic as your name makes it sound like it is. But hey,
These are interesting names.
whether it's comedy or drama or action or whatever, we always enjoy the entertainment from YouTube. Join us, saying hello back to you as well. We have a Prince CPM PH. Hi, your vids are amazing. Thank you very much, Prince, for that. Robin is saying hello to Anthony. Hello, Anthony. Maritas is saying, hello, guys. Nice to meet you here. Let's connect, friend. Let's definitely do that. Anthony is saying, glad to meet you. And obviously, with all of our friends, we are welcoming you officially. We get to that portion. Robin says, welcome, Jerry Chen. Anthony says, welcome, Jerry, as well. And then we have Maritas saying, still here. Yes. And then we have friends from around the world. This is Miss Tram from, I believe, Vietnam, right? It looks like a Vietnamese name. Manhatri, no idea what that means. Doesn't sound like Vietnamese either, but hello back to you. Very nice to see you. And then Jessica, I'm sure maybe you should remember also from the Groovathon, has a
Yes.
lot of great things to say about you. Says, hi, Simon and Jerry, not to be confused with Tom and Jerry. Welcome. Glad to see you again. And then we have Nicholas, also from Australia, saying good day. And then everyone saying hi to one another. Nicholas also saying hi to you. And this is what we like to do. We like to interact with you as much as possible. Robin says, thanks for the kind words. Jessica saying hi to a fellow Australian. Hey, Nicholas, good to see you. Asher, our good friend, also from Singapore, saying hey. And then Tram is saying it's 3:15 p.m. Hello to you as well. Good to see all of you. Cool. So now that we have, definitely, if you're just joining us, you're still seeing all these really cool things. You see, Jerry, you see myself as we continue to share. Let us know that you are here. Leave comments, give us your thoughts, because we want to make sure that we're doing as much as we can. Looks like we have another friend from the Philippines. Hey, and talking to us in Tagalog, it looks like. I could be mistaken, I'm not sure, but definitely communicate, say hi, discuss, comment with one another, because this is what our community is all about. So, Mr. Jerry, I know it's getting late for you. I know you need to get some rest pretty soon, but you're still here. And so we want to hear about you. We want to know what drove you to wanting to share with us today and what you have planned in your agenda for being live with us here this afternoon.
Thanks, man. So, hi everyone. I'm seeing the comments on the sidebar. So good to see you guys here. I see Martise, Jessica, Mahay, Hyun. Hey, Asher again. So we've done a bit of a roll call. Robin, so on and so forth. I just I was just blown away by how consistent Simon has been in doing these live streams. And I know right after the Groovathon, we had talked about doing live streams. I even said, you know what, we should do it every single day. But, this is like the first time I actually went on a live stream with him, um, r- right after the Groovathon. So I think it's been probably around, what, a week and a half or so. And so I personally also want to get into a pattern and a rhythm of doing live streams because I realize how important it is to connect and reach out to more people, which is actually the topic of today is understanding social capital. Uncle Jerry. There you go. See, we're building social capital everywhere, right? And so, as I continue to share a little bit, I would love for you guys, doesn't matter where you're sharing from, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or other platforms, maybe share what you would like to hear from us on these live streams. What topics would you like to discuss? What do you want to hear? What do you want to learn? Between Simon and I, just between the two of us, we have a vast network of people who are experts in different fields. We're definitely not experts in every single craft that you can imagine. We're good at a few things, and I think we're blessed enough to know just a few things how to do those things right. But between the two of us, we have a lot of friends who can and are willing to share their knowledge as well. So maybe type in the comments the kind of things that you want to learn, um, either it's regarding business or family or whatnot, just share in there. But I thought social capital is one of those things um, that may sound simple or they may sound mysterious depending on your personal experience. And as Simon shared earlier, I actually got this from Investorpedia. So the definition on Investorpedia says that social capital allows a group of people to work together effectively to achieve a common purpose or goal, right? And so, if you really think about it, right, um, that pretty much just describes what relationship actually means in day to day life. But if you peel back the layers, it's more than just relationships; it's actual influence, right? I'll give an example. Um, if you build a good relationship with someone, it does not mean that you would listen to that person. As an example, think about your parents, think about our parents. A lot of times we have this unique relationship with our parents, but we don't listen to them, right? And so that's a way of looking at how uniquely social capital is positioned in our day-to-day life. Okay, so um, the sheer fact that I'm here, it's because Simon and I have built social capital in each other's lives, right? We have mutual friends. We have a lot of um, mutual friends in different countries. But like what Simon has shared previously, some of the friends that he invited to these live streams or groovathons or whatnot, they didn't always respond to his invitation. Some people didn't even have the courtesy to respond, saying, not for me this time. They maybe read the message and ignored it for whatever reason, right? And so, was that a positive action toward building social capital, right? Are you depositing or are you withdrawing? And I think that's a huge withdrawal of the social capital. And so the definition on Investopedia says the term social capital refers to a positive product of human interaction, right? So it is a positive product. It does not mean the eventual use of that capital is positive. I hope that makes sense. So we can share that the link to that article later, okay? But they give a really great example of the disadvantage of social capital. For example, if you think about the Nazis, right? That is a really, really bad example of using social capital. It's an abuse of social capital, right? If you think about what Hitler did to the Jewish people, right? He had influence, he had amazing social capital amongst his people, but he used that to do extreme evil in the world. Okay, you can also think about mafia or gangs or drug cartels. They all use social capital to strengthen the bonds within the group, to recruit other members, but they don't do it for positive outcome for the society. Okay, so the reason I want to talk about that today is because, as I see Simon doing these live streams, and you guys can probably tell by now I'm a bit of a intellect. I like to think. I like to discuss topics, and I like to um, explore ideas. My background was mechanical engineering. I used to build space shuttle and airplanes for Boeing. It's a company, aerospace company in the States. And then later, I became a marketer. But nonetheless, I still very much like to think about ideas and explore ideas. And so I think social capital is not only critical, but it's something that we live and breathe every day. And a lot of times we don't think too much about it. We don't think twice about building that capital, but it has a tremendous impact and influence on what is going to happen in our lives, not just in our day-to-day relationships, but it has a lot to do with your income, right? It has a lot to do with how well you do in your marriage or other type of relationships, right? I don't, Simon, maybe you can remind me, whoever said that your income is going to be the average income of the five people that you spend the most time with, right? That I really don't know what the origin is. I'm pretty sure the people that we quote the most probably wasn't the actual person who said it,
Right.
but but whatever it is, right? We hear so many different ways, so many different spins to the same concept of how social capital and relationships and the people that we surround ourselves with impact our life, right? So you think about the idiom that birds of the same feather flock together. These type of concepts. So social capital really is in everything that we do, in business, in life, so on and so forth. And so that actually really wasn't like the whole idea that I want to share, but I think that's an important underlying principle behind a lot of things that we do. uh, During the Groovathon, I had shared about multi-tier affiliate program and becomes how that becomes um, a very unique way for people to make money. And I see our friend over here, Thomas Bell. Hey, Tom.
What's up, Thomas? Long time no see, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so guys, if you don't know Tom Bell, he is one of the pioneers of affiliate marketing. For those of you, not everybody understands and are participating in affiliate marketing, but he was truly one of the pioneers. I think he was right there with ClickBank before ClickBank launched years ago, and he was absolutely one of my early mentors in digital marketing. So I owe a big chunk of my success to Tom for sure. And speaking of building social capital, right? Case in point, back in 2004, I bought a internet marketing course that was dedicated to the direct sales network marketing industry, and that was what I was doing at the time. And so I bought a little ebook that Tom co-authored with a couple of his friends. And as they say, the rest is history, right? I learned from the best, and I worked really hard, and I implemented what they taught in their training. And so, if you really think about it, the teachers are there to teach you something, but the student still has to apply it. And so, in years past, and also in the recent live streams that Simon has hosted and shared about how, the courses that he published, the principles that he taught, they all work. There's proof everywhere. But if you come into the course or come into a community or mastermind or whatever with a mindset that your teacher has to be this person who is more successful than you, I think that is a mistake that a lot of people make. I'll give you an example. Phil Jackson, if you watch basketball, right? Phil Jackson, arguably one of the best, if not the best, basketball coaches that's ever lived. He coached Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and to some extent, Dennis Rodman. These are all-time greats, right? Dennis Rodman was one of the greatest rebounders ever lived. Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time in the game of basketball. Now they look to the coach, Phil Jackson. He's the teacher. But do you think Phil Jackson is better at shooting the basketball than Michael Jordan? Is he better at rebounding than Dennis Rodman? Right? He's not. But that's not his role anyway, right? He is the teacher. He is the person who is supposed to guide them to reach their potential. And so a lot of times I think people come into digital marketing or whatever, they come into this arena with a mindset that my coach, my teacher has to be better than me in doing the things that he or she is teaching. I think they're gravely mistaken. That is not the point. That is not the point. The point is the teacher needs to teach you things that work and explain it in such a way that you can understand it. And the greatest teachers make you want to actually apply what he's teaching you or what she's teaching you. And that's it. And so for the people that come in thinking that the teacher has to be more successful, and if not, they call you a scam, they call you whatever, they're doing themselves a disservice, right? I'm kind of going on a rant here, but I see that happen everywhere. I actually saw something today. Um, People got into the Tony Robbins program, mastermind.com, and they start complaining about in the community, there's people who are like, this is like the opposite extreme of things. This is so funny, right? Um, this person is complaining the exact opposite of what I was describing. Okay. This person is saying, oh my gosh, in this group, everybody's showing off their wealth and complaining about how tired they are making all this money. And I was like, what's wrong with people? You're not happy when, the person teaching you wasn't making the kind of money that you thought he or she was making. And then on the other hand, there's people complaining about other people being too successful. So my point here is that you can't be all things to all people, but you can be the best version of yourself at any given time, right? And so, how does this tie into social capital? There's a lot, right? Because when you know yourself and you are comfortable in your own skin, you can build tremendous social capital with people because people will see through that. They'll feel it. They know that they can trust you, um, even if they don't necessarily like you, right? They can trust you because they know, right? They know that you're comfortable in your own skin. You speak your mind. You have nothing to hide, and even if they don't like you, they will at least respect you, right? And don't be surprised when people encounter certain issues in life or problems or circumstances, you may actually be the person that they turn to. And that would be a tremendous opportunity for you to increase your social capital with people you never thought that was going to become your friend, or you never knew that they thought of you as a friend until a time of need, right? And so maybe in the comments, maybe in the comments, guys, just type in what you want to what you want to learn, or what you want to hear us talk about in this live stream. This is pretty much free form. I know, in days past, Simon always talk about, here's the live stream where um, I'm gonna go on and talk about nothing or no plan. Just kidding. But there's so much to talk about. But you're here, you guys are here, so I want to share something that we can add value to your life, instead of just mumbling about things that we thought could be interesting. I mean, we always thought we have something interesting to say, right? But whether you guys agree or not, you know what? Sometimes it doesn't matter, because when we're having fun, it shows through. Then you guys are having fun listening to us. That's all that matters, right? So post in the comments if you have something that you would like to hear us discuss, or maybe specific things that you thought would be useful to you. And to be able to do that, let me just share a little bit about my background that I think could be relatable to some of you. Being an engineer that was my past life. I left my corporate job at Boeing in 2009, so that was almost exactly 11 years ago. Just a little bit over 11 years ago, I had my last corporate job, and never had one ever since. So what did I do between then and now? I started my first business. It was a direct sales business. These days I call that multi-tier affiliate program, or compensated communities, because if you really think about it, that's what it is, right? Companies pay you and I, if you decide to participate, commissions or bonuses, basically the money that they normally would spend on advertising and marketing, they distribute it to the people who actually refer them business. It's a brilliant idea, right? And so affiliate marketing is the same. It's performance-based program for manufacturers or providers of service to give the participants a little bit of the money that they normally spend on expensive advertising and marketing. And how do I know? Because I run a agency that some of these companies hire. I'm one of those expensive agencies that they have to hire to get their names out there. So I get to see both sides of the coin. And so I think, in a sense, I am uniquely qualified to at least to speak a little bit about the subject. I can't say I'm an expert. I can't say I'm like the guru or the most successful person to tell you, exactly how to build these kind of businesses or how these kind of things work. But I can tell you, all I know is that in the last 15 years, 16 years, I live and breathe direct to consumer marketing as well as digital marketing every single day for the last 15 years. And it is such an honor and a privilege to be able to see how things have grown since 2004, when I first picked up a book that talked about digital marketing. And so that was my background. I started in direct sales, and then I was working a corporate job at the time. So that was my side gig or side hustle, right? That's how people call that these days. My side hustle was a direct sales business. My day job was a engineer at Boeing, and eventually I built the direct sales business to a point where it was basically a equivalent of a full-time salary, and I had an option to quit my job. I didn't feel comfortable quitting my job because I was able to replace it. But if you're on that boat right now, right? Maybe if you're on that boat right now, just give us a thumb up or something. Let us know that you're you're experiencing that right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You feel you feel that that adrenaline rush of being able to create something out of nothing, and even to the point where you're surpassing your current income, right? Your annual income sometimes become your weekly income, sometimes can become your daily income if you do the right things. And I experienced all of the above. And so it's interesting to be able to do these things um, to that level. And I have my mentors to thank. Maybe personal work ethics matter too. um, but ever since 2009, I left the corporate job. I have ever since then done different type of businesses. I've always had the digital agency since 2009, but I also ran a direct sales training company with a business partner for a couple of years, where we offer coaching to direct sales leaders in different companies. We teach them how to recruit people. We did live dials on the telephone so everybody could hear it. It was very nerve wracking at first. We offered also compensation plan design for companies. So I'm talking about direct sales, multi tier affiliate marketing specifically. So we did that as well. But all in all, I have been in the marketing business for right around 15 years, 11 years full time. Uh, my agency is particularly strong in search engine optimization, basically driving traffic. So that's pretty much it. In terms of direct sales, we had different kinds of records. We built really big teams, but I'm not here to tell you, how successful we are. That's not the point. I do want to hear from you what you want to hear, though, and these might be some of the things that we could talk about during this live stream. It is late here, so I'm gonna hang out for a few more minutes. But I do believe, Simon, there is a mastermind private group, right? A private mastermind group somewhere on Facebook.
Yes. So, for those of you who are interested to learn more about the mastermind group, Jerry is going to be a big part of it as well, simply because he's one of our partners. He's one of my partners and one of my good friends, and definitely somebody that I believe a lot of people would look up to. Just from a lot of the things that we were able to share from the 14-day Groovathon, I think most people walked away not having enough, just because, every single topic that you touched on, obviously, search engine optimization is not a 2 hour or 4 hour course. If you want to learn more about network marketing, you want to learn more about compensated communities, as you so gracefully put it, and also building multiple tiers, it's also more than just another 2 hour session. And so when it comes to our own communities, where with the knowledge, with the community, all working with one another, with the leadership inside, with fellow members, and everything along those lines, it's all geared towards continuing to train you, all geared continuing to for us to learn and grow and develop as a team, because ultimately we feel like, obviously, learning, education, personal growth, and personal development, it's an ongoing thing. You're not going to be able to learn it from one live stream, like from the 1 hour or less that Jerry is able to spend with us here today. You're not going to be able to learn it from his 2 hour sessions that he shared with us over the Groovathon. You're not even going to be able to learn it over the entire 2 weeks, where we spent literally over 300 hours consecutively on the air, day after day, night after night after night. The truth is, if you want to learn, learning never finishes. You're never going to completely learn everything that you will need to learn. Learn what you need to get started, but ultimately you will need a community, you will need a mastermind, you will need a place where you can keep each other accountable and train you on different areas that you need to learn, and improve in different areas that you need to improve on. And that's not something that we can come up with. As Jerry mentioned, time and time and time again, which I highly recommend you to do. If you happen to be here live with us right now, and while Jerry is on the air with us, take this opportunity to comment, leave a question, and ask Jerry whatever questions that you might have that is about social capital, that is about compensated communities, that's about what you need to do to leverage on Jerry's expertise in order for you to expedite your success. Because I'll tell you, not everybody is watching us live. Not everybody will have the opportunity to be able to ask Jerry questions. And so, whenever we do have this chance, and as fate would have it, we're on live together, make sure that you take full advantage of it. And if it just so happens you didn't join us live, you're watching us on the replay right now, well, that is exactly, and it's hard for me to point here. Let me do this. There you go, a little bit out there.
Yeah.
Right. This is the mastermind group that you can join, where Jerry is also going to be a big part of. We're going to rebrand it. We're going to put new things together. We're going to make it a lot more interactive, a lot more engaging for you. All these live streams that you see us doing publicly right now, we want to share as much as possible, but I'm sure you can agree that when you are in that mastermind group, we're going to be able to share it a lot more intimately, and we're going to be able to answer your questions a lot more closely, because we would have a much better idea on what you are working on. And so with all of that, highly recommended that you join us in whatever types of mastermind groups or communities that we are in, because for the time being, everything is free. For the time being, we're just giving away as much of our time as we can to provide as much value to you as possible. But we all know that free is definitely not the most best use of our time, always, right? And it's not always going to be the most productive use of a business model. It's not going to be the smartest business move either. So while we still have this year going, and while we are still sharing as much as possible, just like with Groove, right? They're giving away their free account. They have the lifetime offer, but all of that is not going to last forever either. You know, we're using Restream right now, and at one point they gave away a really cool deal that is no longer around either, right? So there's a lot of cool deals out there, and right now we're offering one of them. But you need to believe in being at the right place and being at the right time, and especially recognizing that we have one of the biggest experts. He doesn't refer to himself as an expert, but I do, because I don't know too many people who would oftentimes, you know, get get hired for the day to speak in front of a crowd, and he would get flown out halfway around the world just to do 1 hour or 2 hour session, hired directly by the company, right? And then back home or around the US where he's at, it's not every day that you will meet somebody who is such highly respected in the actual industry that he would be asked time and time and time again to speak in front of crowds of over 10,000 people or more. Obviously, not in the pandemic age, but whenever we do have the opportunity to go back out there and do live events again, and these 10,000, 50,000, maybe eventually 100,000 events happen again, you know, this is the guy right here that gets invited to speak in front of those stages. So as humble as he is, saying that, oh, I'm not an expert, I'm just some guy in a hoodie in his, you know, spare bedroom talking and sharing and just being a nice guy, this is the man. And he's definitely very humble, very down to earth, so he won't tell you this, but just so that you know, a lot of people pay him a lot of money just to learn from him. So if you're here and you want to learn more about how Jerry can help you, take advantage of the time that he's here, answer your question, ask them if you can. Of course, I showed this briefly earlier from Diamond Pockets, asking if he can hire you and to send your contact details. Of course, in terms of what the hiring may entail, this is something that you can probably speak one-on-one and privately with anyone who is interested in working with you. But really quickly, Jerry, if you want to share what's the best way people can get in touch with you, can contact you, maybe connect with you on social media like Facebook or whatever, or if you prefer
Sure.
to your website.
Yeah, depending on what your needs might be, but I think for now, just join the mastermind group. Just go to simonleung.com/mastermind. You're gonna see me in there. Once you see me in there, you can obviously find the link to my personal profile so that you don't have too many things to remember. Just go to that one link, just join the mastermind. It's free. Lots of people there now. We're gonna get a lot more there for sure, and then we can freely discuss ideas in the mastermind if it is private, uh, especially diamond pockets. If you are talking about a new business you're launching, there are some maybe trade secrets or whatever. If we need to sign an NDA, sure. I've done a variety of different types of discussions with different companies and entrepreneurs. So we I think we can talk and we'll see where it goes, but for sure I'll see how I can contribute. um yeah.
Sounds great. And then Jessica is saying, "Wow, need to learn from you, Jerry. Glad that Simon invited you, watched you on Groovathon." So yeah, I mean, we
Thank you.
have a lot of people here who also watched you live on the Groovathon, and so I think it's because they were scrolling through their news feed and they obviously saw your face, like, "Hey, I know that guy, and I want to hear from him more." And so that's why they're all here right now. So you're definitely creating your own community. You're creating your own success stories very, very quickly. Robin is saying, "Okay, Jerry, with regard to a world full of clutter, I'd be interested in knowing your perspective on how to get to a core social capital with regard to refining personal and or the business message to market and better packaging it to a commercially viable offer slash service."
That's a mouthful. So
Yeah.
what's the actual question?
So
Sorry, Robin. Let me
interested
slow down a little bit.
your perspective on how to get to a core social capital with regards to refining personal and business message market and better packaging to
Ah,
a commercial. So something along the lines of basically your if you wanted to
packaging.
put something together and you want to
Mhm.
offer something that would be commercially viable to a
Sure.
client, to a customer, to a student, how would you leverage on social capital to make that happen?
Ah, got it. So I would, Robin, I hope I understand your question correctly. If not, I do apologize. So I think the question is how to package a product or service in a commercially viable way through social capital. Did I get that right, Robin? The whole idea isn't about just the social capital, but how to use social capital to build to package a product or service so that it's commercially viable, right? It's profitable. Did I get that right? If you're still there, I want to make sure I answer the right question. So hopefully you could hear. And there's also a little bit of delay on the chat,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna
So
give
we're
you.
not hearing back from Robin just yet. We can get back to it once he clarifies. So if we want, we can take a look at some of the other comments coming in. Jessica is saying, "Awesome. I am in Simon's private mastermind, and so looking forward to learning more from you as well." And then Jessica is also saying, "I'm looking forward to discovering how I can help serve you too, Jerry."
Oh, thank
So
you.
thank you, Jessica. And then Robin, this was from earlier before you asked him to clarify. He's basically uh, putting in the comments the link to the mastermind. Diamond Pockets, I think this one was already answered, right? What's the best way to
Right.
contact you? Have a few things want to discuss with you. So, as Jerry mentioned, inside of our mastermind.
And
And
Robin
then Jessica,
responded. Uh,
yeah. And then Jessica is
oh,
saying, "Do I need to have lots of money to be a philanthropist?"
um, from my perspective, no. I mean, any random acts of kindness could could be interpreted as being a a philanthropist act, right? Like it depends on what you want to do for people to serve others. So I don't think you need to be a ton of money. I mean, if you're really thinking about just the Hollywood, I don't know, the Hollywood or mass media definition of what a philanthropist is supposed to be. Sure, they advertise the people who have a lot of money, but the reality is that you don't need to have lots of money to be a
I
philanthropist.
think it all also depends on what you want to do. I mean, obviously, if you want to hire a team of people to go to Kenya to build houses or something, then yes, you would need to have funds, right? But there's so many acts of kindness that we can all do on a day-to-day basis that doesn't necessarily require you to spend any money at all. You know, if you want to help to arrange and set up something on GoFundMe for, let's say, the Philippines, all the floods that's happening right now, right? All it takes is maybe 5 or 10 minutes initially for you to get that page set up, and it's still an act of kindness. Start sharing on social media, encourage other people to do it. That is something that a philanthropist would do. So it all depends on what your end goal is. It's like asking, hey, how much does it cost to start a business? For many of us, we can start a business for zero, right? We don't even have to uh, register a domain name if we don't want to. Now that we have Groove, right? We don't have to get web hosting. We don't have to buy anything at all. We just use what we want. However, if you want to start a business, let's say you want to start a franchise, McDonald's, Subway, Burger King, or Taco Bell, or 7-Eleven, then yes, you would need to have some capital, right? So I think it all depends on what you're planning to do and what your goals are. I believe if you just have a generic goal of wanting to help people, there are plenty of things that we can do that don't necessarily need a lot, or in some cases, any, to start. Okay, so hopefully that helps to answer your question. Nicholas is asking, hey, Jerry, what 3 top tips would you pass on for those to help build social capital and, more importantly, engagement within online communities? 3 tips.
Sure. I think the first that I can think of is authenticity, because there's just too much noise out there, and there's too much of people trying to pretend to be someone that they're not. The fake gurus, the whatever, like just because you can buy advertising, just because you can rent a Lamborghini or rent a hot girlfriend for a day or whatever, like
You can
what
do that
what
on Fiverr, by the way.
well, you can do that on Fiverr. I mean, think about also you can go to cameo.com and you can hire a actual celebrity
Yeah.
to promote you, promote your whatever, right? And so I think authenticity is really important. That's the first. Second is to try to get rid of the mindset of what's in it for me. That'll come later. It doesn't mean that you should just aimlessly give your time and money away to help people and not think about what you want in return. What I'm saying is, let me make that distinction because it's really important. Of course, you want to think about what you want in return at some point, but don't do that in the first time meeting somebody, right? Maybe not even the second or third time. Maybe on the fourth time, think about it. Because if people keep coming back to you for something, you obviously have some value to offer, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't come back. But if you realize people are just taking advantage of you, okay, give them 3 opportunities to take advantage of you then, right? So you know at least you have value to offer to someone, right? and then you figure out what that value is. Then you know how you can ask for something. So in email marketing or even other forms of marketing, they usually say you need to give value, and then you ask on the fourth email or something similar type of deal, right? I'm just making up these numbers. It could be 5 times that you give value to somebody before you ask for something, maybe 7 times, whatever that number is. You figure it out, right? But that's the second tip, is to get rid of the what's in it for me mindset, until you build enough value in the eye of the person you're connecting with. And then I think the third is to just to be normal. So the first was to be yourself. Okay, be yourself. Second is to not think about what's in it for yourself, be of servitude to other people first. The third is to be normal, meaning if you come across people that you have idolized for a long time, or people that you consider your mentors or your whatever, right? Like people that you're a fan of, that you're an actual fan of, when you get to meet them, you need to kind of contain yourself and not to be um like be yourself but not scare people away. Does that make sense? Because you got to think about it, especially if these people are some kind of superstars in their own world. Like they get people who would react that way all the time, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm speaking to you, or like whatever, right? Like I'll tell you an example. I've met plenty of people who are uber successful, like literally into the hundreds of millions in income. I'm not talking about revenue, okay? I'm not talking about the revenue of their company or the revenue of their direct sales organization. That's not actual income. That's just revenue, right? If you have $100 million in revenue, but your profit margin is 1%, you made $1 million in profit, not 100 million, as an example. So I met plenty of people who are into the hundreds of millions of dollars or more. And I'll be honest with you, when I first met them, I was like, I couldn't contain myself because I was so excited I'm gonna learn something great from a 100 millionaire, right? But then the person was gracious enough um, to accept my excitement. Let's put it that way,
Mm.
and allow me to calm down a little bit before we could have a normal conversation. And that was when I knew that that person just didn't have a high standard of creating income. That person was also a very gentle, a very a very gentle and a very caring human being. And he, because he knew, like, it wasn't just like, oh, this guy is obnoxious, I don't want to talk to him. He was kind enough to allow me to allow my emotions to subside and then have a conversation with me. And the reason I would mention this is because I've also met people who are just as successful or not even as successful as this person financially, who would just kind of brush you off and not talk to you because they're like, who the heck are you? Like, what are you doing? I want to talk to you. So my point is, the third tip was to remain calm as much as you can and have a normal conversation, because most of these people, if they're the right people that you eventually want to build a relationship with, they don't want you to idolize or worship them. They want to have a normal conversation. Okay, they want to have a normal conversation. That's the three tips I would share. If
Awesome.
I were to do this myself, those are the things that I'll keep in mind.
And Jessica's really good at taking notes. She does this on her live streams as well. I see messages and it's like, hey, that sounds familiar because I said it like 5 minutes ago. So she's writing down notes for Nicholas as you were answering for him. And then, as you mentioned, Robin is back with his
Mhm.
clarification of his question. And he's saying, well, if an individual has so many skill sets, how would they match their skills to markets?
Oh, perfect. Great question. So, Robin, now I'm speaking to you directly. Imagine the things that I had shared earlier about my background, right? I used to build space shuttles, spacecrafts, and aircrafts. I'm talking about literally. I worked on the 787 Dreamliner by Boeing. That was the last project that I worked on. The first project that I worked on was the X-37, or space orbital vehicle, which they used to replace the space shuttle that kept blowing up, right? So if I tell you about my engineering background and my engineering skills, would that be of value to you? No. Do I still have those skills? Yes. And so if you're saying that you have trouble finding out how to match your skills, maybe you personally or maybe someone else. But if I'm answering a generic question, how does an individual has so many skill sets that they don't know how to match it to the market? Well, you have to then do more research, right? if you want to create a product or service that people automatically want to buy, you have to know what they're looking for. As an example, earlier in the live stream, I was asking you guys to post questions about what you want to hear or what you want to learn, and um, I was lucky enough for you guys to actually respond, right? Sometimes, you go into a live stream, people don't respond. And so the mere fact that I'm responding to you, Robin, I am offering value. I am offering um, some kind of value. I don't know if it's a lot of value, a little value, but I'm offering some kind of value because I'm answering your question. I'm not telling you how to do calculus, right? I'm not I'm not showing you how to solve a trigonometry problem, but I'm talking about how to package your skills and whatever talents you have into a product or a service that match the market that you need or that you want to market to. As an example, we have people on live stream right now. Maybe if you guys are willing, type in the chat if you are interested in creating an additional stream of income without putting out, say, more than $100 per month. Okay. If you want to create another stream of income that you can learn to produce by investing less than $100 per month to leverage and make maybe $1,000 a month, just type in the chat if you would be interested in that. Okay. And by the way, I would be highly interested in that. That's a 10x return on my money. I invested 100, make 1,000. I want to do the 10 times over, 100 times over, right? And so if you guys are just lying now. I'm just kidding. Nobody's responding.
No,
So anyway, oh, now we got one. Diamond Pockets, thank you for being honest, right? And so and so Robin said, yes, that would be amazing. So because I asked this question, now you see, now I can share, and this is a true story, not a story. This is a real thing I'm telling you right now. Last week, I hurt my back. I threw my back first night on my vacation. I think the bed wasn't supportive enough compared to my bed at home. And so I injured my back on the first night. And I wasn't able to enjoy the trip as much as I had hoped. But guess what? I was able to still generate more than 100 leads per day, every single day when I was lying in bed. So, my question for you, if you're listening, Robin or whoever else, would you like to be able to generate at least 100 leads every single day to your business without you doing a lot of work, right? And if yes, then maybe in the mastermind, I'll share how that works. I don't want to share this here because it'll take forever, but that's a skill that I have that I learned. I wasn't born with that. I didn't, pop up my mom's belly and go, oh, I'm going to generate 100 leads a day. Like who does that, right? But I learned how to do that. And that's something I would share with you, right? And so that is a match to the market's demand. Robin, does that make sense? So, how do you do it? You do research and then you ask questions. How do you do research? You can go back to watch the Groovathon where I showed plenty of examples of how I did research, right? I did research. For example, I was able to do research on a website that I own or on a client website. I was able to do research based on a competitor website. I can spy on the competition, or I can do research directly. I can do research directly um, from tools that we use to see what the audience in that market, right? The prospects, the audience, the general public in that the demographic within the market you're trying to serve is asking. There's plenty of tools that could do that. Go back and watch the group fund. A lot of these tools are free too, right? And so you could just do that, and then you do the research, and then you carve out a little niche within a niche for yourself, right? And how does that work? Let me kind of peel back a little bit. Okay, let me peel back the layer a little bit so you get what I'm saying here. How many people are teaching online marketing? How many people are teaching multi-tier affiliate marketing? How many people are teaching SEO? How many people are teaching how to make money from home? Right? There's more than one, obviously. So if there's more than one, what that tells me is that there is room for you too, if that's the niche that you're in. There's always a place for you, if you know what you can offer, and then you do enough research to see what your audience is looking for. Okay, so that's the best that I could do, Robin, in about 5 minutes.
No, that's all very helpful stuff. And I don't know if you have been watching, but I think there's a lot of engagement that's coming in along the way as you're talking.
Mhm.
So, highlighted a few of them. And yeah, looks like all that cool stuff is coming in. And so let's go back to answering some questions while we still have you here, because I know that it's past 1 a.m. for you, and you know we want you to be well rested for all the future cool things that we'll be working on. Following
Awesome.
up on what Jessica was talking about earlier in terms of philanthropy, is social capital synonymous with it, because she is interested to become a philanthropist using Groove as her platform.
Okay. Um, so social capital in its very definition isn't about being a philanthropist. I can actually share that link to the Investopedia
I can
article.
I can I can help you with that.
Okay. So Jessica, social capital, so Simon will share that link, but it's about, let me read that to you one more time, right? The term social capital refers to a positive product of human interaction. It can definitely be used for philanthropist activities, but it's not limited to just that. So it can be an application. Being a philanthropist can be an application. I'll give an example, a great example on that topic as well. So the definition is the positive outcome. It's a positive outcome or positive product with human interaction. The positive outcome may be tangible or intangible and may include use for information, innovative ideas, and future opportunities. You see, so it contains information, it contains ideas and opportunities. And so, one of the greatest examples I can think of that is related to being a philanthropist is how Bill Gates and Warren Buffett became these very well known philanthropists because they became friends and they decided that it would be a great idea to become philanthropists, right? And so the social capital that they built with one another created the synergy to create an amazing amount of money being poured into philanthropy, you see? And so the social capital between those two gentlemen is the underlying principle that caused both of them to give more. But who influenced them, right? Ever thought about who influenced them? So there was the gentleman that started the duty free shop, um, that essentially gave away. I don't know if it's all of his money, but most of his money. His name is Robert Miller, and you can Google him if you want. There was also a viral article that's been passed around of late, earlier this year. So he wanted to die broke. That was his dream. He wanted to die broke. Why? Because he created way more wealth than he could possibly consume personally. And his goal was to give away all his money. And that article that was passed around earlier this year basically talk about how he successfully gave away all of his money and he was officially broke. Like he's again, you can verify how much of that is true. And by being broke, does that mean he's negative in his bank account? I have no idea. But that is beside the point. The point is he made a goal to give away his wealth. Okay. But the social capital that he built, is manifold. The social capital he built with the people who knew who he gave away to, because most of the time he gave away the money um, being anonymous. He did not sign his name. So people wouldn't know that they received the money from him, right? So he definitely isn't building social capital there from the standpoint of him being recognized as the donor, but he's doing tremendous amount of service to the society or the world at large, and he is creating. I mean, think about the very definition of it. The positive outcome may be tangible or intangible, and it may include useful information, innovative ideas, and future opportunities. So if he's funding innovative ideas to better mankind, then he's building a tremendous amount of social capital with all of us, right? So it's kind of a, I don't want to just keep standing on my soapbox and give this grandiose speech, right? This is kind of a deep subject, but it's also very important to recognize, because this can drive a lot of the things that we do in life, which then gets transformed, and it manifests into our daily actions and our activities. How you show up to your spouse or your kids and all this other stuff matters. But that's kind of where you start, because you think about the higher level principles, then you become um, more attracted to other people because you're of servitude to them. So that was kind of a long-winded way of answering your question, Jessica. But yes, of course, you can be a philanthropist.
And then Robin saying, Jerry, so the group presentation you said, I'm also very interested as it ties directly into my question. So thanking you. And then I think there was another message from Jessica making a joke. She says, wow, Jerry, so your engineering background, rockets and space, you really do know how to launch LOL. And
Yeah,
I remember you saying,
launching.
yeah, I remember you saying that you literally used to be a rocket scientist.
I literally was a rocket scientist. It's no joke. And if you're in any kind of business right now, not just Jessica but everyone, I must say, business is a lot simpler than rocket science.
Hmm.
I think one
It's
of the
not rocket
most,
science, right?
what is that?
That's why they say it's not rocket science.
That's exactly why they said it that way. What I have found out after I exited the aerospace business is that everything seems simpler than rocket science,
Hmm.
but not everything is easier. A lot of things that we have talked about so far, we talk about people, personalities, and how they see things, coaches, players, superstars, how they reach potentials, and all this other stuff. A lot of that is in the mind, is in your daily habits, and those things are more difficult to change and transform than a space shuttle. Why? Because space shuttle is a dead thing, right? It's dead. It doesn't move without human intervention. But humans are alive, and how many neurons do we have, and how many thoughts do we think every single day? Those are like the most difficult and most complex things for people to figure out, because without self mastery, it is very difficult to become as successful as you think you want to be. I gotta be really careful there. You can't reach who you think you want to be. Some people say they want to be something, that's just their thought. They don't really want to be something because they haven't actually, like, how can you want to be something if you haven't done enough research or understand what it's like to be something? Does that make sense? Like, how can you possibly say that? How can, if you say you want to be a billionaire, do you even know what kind of pressure you would be under being a billionaire? Like, if you never made $100,000 and you say you want to be a billionaire, sure, you can aim high, but aim high and do research so you know what comes with it, right? That type of ideas. And I think the most difficult thing is the mind. Self mastery is so important.
Right. And but then the most important question though is why, right? Why do you want to be a billionaire? That's why there's so many things like, find your why, know
Mhm.
your reason. What is keeping you up at night? What's the reason that you wake up motivated in the morning? Is it to make $1 billion? Because if it's just about money, then there's plenty of ways for you to make money. You can go to get a job and you can make money. You can drive Grab or Uber and make
Mhm.
money. But what's more
Oh, you can rob a bank.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's black and white ways to do many things, but still,
Yeah.
what is your reason? Why is $1 billion gonna make you happy? Like why? Like most people will never ever get anywhere close to making even a fraction of that in their entire lifetime, and they're so much more happier than most people who have that money, who are after the monetary goals. Because I mean, if you're thinking, $1 billion means that I don't have to work again, if it means that I would be able to live the life of my dreams and buy all my Ferraris and Porsches and Lamborghinis and live in a mansion. You don't need $1 billion actually to do all of that. Number one. Number two, if material things are really your reasons and your whys for doing a lot of things that you want to do, then I think we really do need to take a step back and figure out what really is the purpose of our lives. Because if I say, I don't necessarily need to have $1 billion. In fact, living in Malaysia, I don't even need to have $1 million to live comfortably. I can be living off a fraction of that every single year, and it's fine. Is it nice to have $1 million in the bank coming in every year? Is it nice to be a billionaire? Sure, it's nice. But what are you sacrificing in
Yep.
order to make that? Are you sacrificing your sanity? Are you sacrificing time with your family, with yourself? Are you going to be so engulfed in your work that you completely neglect everything else around you? Because I learned a long time ago that for me, money has never been my motivation. Lifestyle, time freedom, the opportunity to be able to live the life that I want, the lifestyle that I can deliver, that is good enough for my family and I. That's the goal, right? So that I can spend more time with them. I don't need to spend an extra 40 hours or 50 hours a week working so that I can earn additional income that isn't going to make a difference in our lives one way or another. It's just money, it's just number, right? And so if you actually know what it is that you want and the reason that you want it, that is what's going to determine your overall happiness with your life. So is it worth it for some people to say, I want to be the next Steve Jobs, I want to be the next um, Amazon guy or Facebook guy or whatever other guy, and work
Mhm.
yourself to the core, to the bone, and really not really appreciate what you have in your life until the very end when you look back? I don't need all of this. I can't even take it with me to wherever I'm going next, right? What's really the point? So it really all boils down to knowing and understanding what you want and why you want it. That's why we say know your why, right?
Yep. All right, let's take one more. Then I gotta go to bed, guys.
Sure. And then Jessica is just all about thanking you, gave her a lot to think about. And one of your quotes, I think you can put this on your new t-shirt if you want. Business is a lot simpler than rocket science, says Jerry Chen. Robin says great comparison of machines versus living beings and self-mastery. Jessica says I discovered my why during the last few days of the Groovathon. Very cool. And then also saying I agree with my Simon about money. No, with you, Simon. And then Robin says, "Great point, Simon. What are we sacrificing? A lot, probably a lot more than we need to." So Jerry did mention that he does have time to take one more question. So if you do want to use this time and be one of the lucky individuals to have your question answered, speak now or forever hold your peace. First come, first served. While we are here with Mr. Jerry, Diamond Pockets is saying a massive thank you. So very cool for that. Carol is joining us from Madrid in Spain, and she's saying, I had a boss that used to say, you need to figure out how to live happy with less things in your closet. For finding freedom, you just need to earn more than you spend, which is true, right?
Yep.
So again, $1 billion, you're gonna be sacrificing so much, but in the end, you're not even gonna be. You don't need it. You don't need to spend that money. You don't need to buy all those things that $1 billion can buy you. So what's the point? Right after working so hard for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100 years, as an example, and you just spent your life working. You spent your entire life just working. You don't even get to enjoy it. You don't even know what you're going to do with that money. I mean, unless you have really good intentions to just donate everything, then that's very righteous of you. But is it worth your time to spend so much of your life trying to earn that only to give it all away? I think that there's a lot that we really need to think about. So I think for the time being, because it is getting pretty late for you, Jerry, I think we're more than happy with just the amount of content that you were able to share with us today. Although, as you mentioned, of course, we want to invite all of our friends to come join us inside of the mastermind group, because this is something that I absolutely believe is going to be super worthwhile, especially now that it is free. You cannot imagine, if you think that Jerry, with the kind of value that he was able to deliver for you over the past hour and a half or so, is even an inkling of useful, of helpful. Imagine if he had hours and hours and hours of uninterrupted time to spend with you, just because he can't sleep in the middle of the night, just because he's waking up early, just because he has nothing better to do. And so he's like, hey, why don't I just spend 4 hours a day sharing about SEO, or social capital, or two-tier, multiple tier affiliate programs, or whatever his expertise might be. So it's absolutely a great use of your time. Not everything is going to be free forever. And so if you're watching right now, you're at the right place and at the right time. We're going to be sharing some amazing, cool stuff with you very soon. Jessica is saying, thank you, Jerry, for sharing your wisdom and valuable time with us. Sorry for keeping you up so late. Yep. Nicholas is saying the same thing. Jerry, appreciate your time and your insights. Thank you. Carol saying thank you both for your time, guys. Robin is saying thank you, Jerry, and thank you, Simon. And then reiterating our group. So cool, Jerry. What parting words do you have for us today? And when are we gonna see you again? And what can we expect from you in future private mastermind sessions that you can still now join for free?
Sure. So thanks for having me. And if you are not already part of the mastermind, for sure join. Um, yes, it is free right now. Again, we may have something to sell in the future for total transparency. We may not. We haven't figured it out yet. Right now, we just try to get something going organically. Uh, get a good group of people in the group, and then we'll figure out how to serve that group. If you are, um, if you just want to hang out, the live stream that we do, we can just hang out. But if you have specific things that you are looking for, um, then join the mastermind. Again, it's free right now. The things that we will talk about, I would just say it would have something to do with digital marketing, how to create traffic, how to create conversions, how to create offers. Of course, we use group pages and funnels to build websites, to build offers. So if you have products or service that you want to sell, there's group cart. Definitely, by being in our mastermind, you'll learn not not necessarily how to use Groove, because I think David Lemon does a great job doing it already. I don't think I can outdo him anyway. I'll just point you to his videos. But I think what we would focus on, two things. I'll just say two, maybe three. Two important topics. One we already covered today, which is how to build social capital. We're gonna spend time talking about it. I think personal development, leadership training is all part of increasing your social capital. So I'm gonna roll everything under the umbrella of social capital, right? So we'll talk about social capital, and then we will talk about marketing. specifically within marketing, we're going to talk about affiliate programs, multi-tier affiliate programs, because I think it covers a wide range of topics more than just talking about um, a simple topic like, how to make money with ClickBank or something like that, right? So two broad topics: building social capital, and then also how to utilize affiliate programs, or more specifically multi-tier affiliate programs, to build a business of any kind. It could be your own product or service. It could be an existing affiliate program or direct sales program that you're promoting. We're there to show you the ropes, and then you figure out what you want to do with it. So I think those are the things that I can think of right now. Maybe we'll talk about other stuff later, right? Maybe we'll talk about spirituality or whatever. We don't know yet, but if things that we decide to do in the future that isn't going in the direction that you had hoped, you can always not stay in the group. It's entirely up to you. But we hope that you stay, right? We value everyone. But that's all I can think of right now. Um, Other than that, I think in the future I'm gonna work something out with Simon, of course, to figure out what's the better timing for these live streams. That because I can't keep doing these midnight live streams for too long. Gotta take care of the health. So perhaps this live stream get kicked into gear, and it prompts me to have a better lifestyle too. Go to sleep early and wake up early, and perhaps we can do it in the evening time, Asia time, and then we can do another one, maybe evening time, uh, US time or something. We'll figure something out, but you'll see me. I'll probably be better prepared next time, because right now I'm just a little tired. But I feel excited to be part of the community, just like everybody else. And mastermind is about learning from one another. It's never about worshiping the gurus or the experts or whatnot. So I hope we instill that culture in our group, that the mastermind truly is about getting everybody to come together as a unified group to solve problems together, right? And so with that, I'm done. And Simon, I don't know if you want to keep going, but I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, no, I think we're good for the day. Like I said, the only reason why I'm on live is because of you anyway. And so with you gone, I think we'll probably just have to reconnect another day and then see what else that we can share. A new view, by the way, on Restream. So I just figured
Oh,
that out.
nice.
But anyway, there's so much more to learn. Jerry and I were always continuing to learn every single day, whether it's platform, whether it's software, whether it's strategies and marketing or whatever else. And so whatever we learn, the good news is we're always going to have some new things to always share with you. And that's why we don't plan ahead. In fact, if we go live tomorrow, we still don't know what we're going to be talking about. If we don't go live until next week, we still obviously don't have anything to plan, because we say, oh, we have a week to figure all that stuff out. So that's the good thing, right? And then for me, if you checked out any of my live streams, you would have seen that, oh, on 11/11, I talked about 11/11. Obviously, that's not something that I can plan until I realize that's what's happening. If I had planned better, then today we would have been talking about something related to Friday the 13th, right? But I just saw that it's Friday the 13th when we're on live. And so whenever things happen with current events, I mean, we want to stay away as much as possible from politics directly. But if there's a life lesson, a marketing lesson, a personal development lesson that we can learn from all of that, by all means, we're going to be open to sharing, because we're all about improving each other, as Jerry mentioned, being the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And so we want to thank all of you for all of your messages and your comments and everything that is coming. And what's Robin saying? I think the link may need checking, please. So if you're taking a look at, if you're clicking on the link directly from Facebook, there is an issue where Facebook is not so friendly with links that are from comments, from posts, and whatever else. So just copy and paste it or type it into the browser, because the redirects, there's something wrong with that on Facebook. So that might be the issue that you're facing right now. But Jessica saying expected Friday the 13th and everything along those lines. So yes, the comments, keep them coming in. If you're watching the replays, keep the interaction going until next time when we have something really cool for you. We will always continue to share. So Mr. Jerry, it is time for you to rest, but I'm sure we will reconnect soon, as we have many cool plans for everyone who's watching right now and inside of our mastermind group. So thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Jerry. Thank you. And
Thanks for having
then
me.
we can say goodbye. I'll say goodbye all at the same time as you, and then we'll check you out soon.
All
Cheers.
right.
Next time. See
See
ya.
you.
Bye. Have a great day.